Again, summer camp, a big kickoff day. Here's camps are back open and teams are getting warmed up. Hearing from Kevin Cash, hearing from Charlie Morton. One thing that Charlie Morton mentioned was the 60-man roster. They have a loaded 60-man roster. And this is the first time I've ever gone into a season, Harold, going, let's compare 60-man rosters. Right?
No doubt.
And that's what we're doing. And when you have the #1 farm system in the sport, which the Rays have, and Wander Franco's on that 60-man, it makes you go, oh, this team has weapons they can go to.
Well, it's not even Wander Franco alone who was the top prospect, but you're looking at McKay is one of the prospects. You go through it. We've got a great video for you. We can go back and look at some of these prospects because I really honestly believe that these are going to be organizational runs. Talked about Brendan McKay. How about a weapon like this, Dan? We talked about Ohtani earlier. This guy's a two-way guy. He can pitch and he can DH and hit for you and play a little first base if you need to. I mean, that's a nice weapon and luxury in this time. But here's the guy Greg was talking about, Wander Franco, switch hitter, shortstop, pick it, do it all. A man that is built beyond his years. He's only 18, but he looks like a man-child. And then right here is another player you get a chance to
Vidal Bruján.
Bruján!
Yeah.
And you're bruising on him. He's a bruiser, man, if you just look at him and watch him play. But they've got guys stacked through the whole organization. These are just the top 5 guys I'm taking you through. But how and why? Look at Xavier Edwards, came over from San Diego, that they got in the trade. And then Honeywell was injured, missed a year. He's back now. I mean, they are deep. And it's not just prospect names that you hear, oh, nice prospects, but these guys have done things in the minors, and they went to the futures game and dominated in the futures game. So these are special prospects that have done things. And then McKay's been in the big leagues already.
They can't wait for Honeywell to come back. He's close. He's going to be throwing relatively soon. He throws a screwball.
Which you don't see very often anymore, right?
A screwball in the big leagues in forever. What was one of the last screwball pitchers you guys saw?
Well, Fernando, from the left side had the screwball. Mike Marshall, reliever with the Dodgers, had the screwball. But it's a pitch that you don't see very many players throwing it nowadays.
That's like 40 years ago, Dan.
Yeah.
That's what that's why.
Yeah, that's why we're saying I can't really tell you the
crazy.
last screwball pitcher that I've seen.
Yeah. So they can't wait for Honeywell to come back.
I think the last screwball pitcher I saw was right across the way. I mean,
Screwball at a different term.
Hey, whoa, right.
Yeah, the other thing about all the young talent that you mentioned, these guys have been in the system for a while.
I was just going to say that.
They're quick to the big leagues.
Yes, that was. You took the word. Man, I work with you too much.
Why are you yelling at me?
It's the system.
He's 6 feet away.
It's the system that makes them dangerous because they don't have the hoopla. If you're a top prospect coming up in the Yankees organization, the Red Sox, the Dodgers, or the Cubs, it's like, when are you going to have them up? When are they going to? And they make it a big deal. With the Rays, throughout that system, position players, pitchers, they all know that they realistically go into a spring training or during the season that they're not afraid to pluck them up and use them.
Yeah.
They're not afraid to bring them up and send them back down. And that's what makes them dangerous. So if you're a young player or pitcher in the Rays organization, you don't go to camp and say, I'm stuck behind this guy for 7 years. There was a time when you were a Yankee farmhand at first base, you were stuck behind Don Mattingly. Until he was gone, you had no place to play. And the Rays, they have interchangeable parts. From year to year, they remake their bullpen.
And I still say this, that they've got the most difficult route because of the National League East. The proximity of who they have to play.
Strength
that
of schedule.
makes it very difficult. If they're out in the Central, they're going to run through it. I think they're better than most teams in the Central. But you put them in the East, a little different.
They've got the talent to play ball.